All right, hello everyone, this is Mr. Crozier. I wanted to give you homework help on problem 11 and 12 today. You're asked to graph this equation right here and graph this equation right here, and we have to make a table. Well, the first thing you want to do is decide what points you're going to use here, and the points we're going to use here are always starting with a vertex of 0. So we have this vertex here at 0. Now it's not going to be 0 forever, but on this assignment the vertex is 0. So even on this equation over here, we can go ahead and say the vertex is 0. Now we want to graph this. All right, so first we want to find the points. Let's go ahead and figure out the points here. If I take a 0 and I plug it in here, I have 0 squared is 0 times 4 is 0. 0 minus 7 is negative 7. So there's my vertex. And I always want to do 1 and 2. So let's plug in 1. 1 squared is 1 times 4 is 4. 4 minus 7 is negative 3. And we want to keep going on this until we get off our graph. And the graph paper that you have been given goes to 7 and negative 7 and up and down to 7 and negative 7. So we can go ahead and work all the way inside these numbers. So let's go ahead and do 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 minus 7 is 9. And now we're off the graph because we've gone past 9. So we're going to stop at 2. And then we want to do the other side of the vertex. And the other side is symmetrical. So we're going to use these same exact numbers. And when you graph this, the first point is at 0, negative 7 down here. 1 is negative 3, and 2 is way up at 9. You're going to have this very steep parabola that starts down here and goes up. And the left side is equal to the right side.
At this time, all staff members with the last name starting with G, please report to the auditorium for hearing test. Thank you.
All right, sorry about that interruption. But now we're going to go ahead and do number 12. Well, same deal. We're going to use this vertex of 0. And if I plug in 0 here, 0 squared is 0, made negative is still 0, 1. And now we're going to do our two numbers and see how far we get. Let's plug in 1. I'm going to write this over here. If I plug in a 1, it looks like this. 1 squared is 1 made negative. The negative is not being squared, so it's still negative 1. If the negative was inside, that would be positive. And then now what we have here is a negative or 0. And if I plug in a 2, that's going to be a negative 4, which would be a negative 3. Plug in a 3, do one more step. It's going to be a negative 9 plus 1 is negative 8. And if we do the other side, it will be exactly the same. Graph those. Let's see here. 0, 1 is here, and then everything else goes down. All right, hope this helps with your homework.